Yes, sir. Top of the morning slash night to everybody. You know, this should be unpredictable. I know. Sometimes I might just cut this motherfucker on at any time. But today we gonna talk about T Grizzly. I guess we on a Detroit um marathon right now. So might as well touch on T Grizzly now. Since I done talked about Team East Side, I done talked about Peasy, Doughboys Cash Out. Might as well talk about T Grizzly. The price of fame, which we already know. We already know. It ain't no need to go down this road. We already know what happens around these people. They say a picture speak 1,000 words, right? Pictures speak 1,000 words. I don't gotta say nothing about it. Y'all see it. Now, rapper T Grizzly was quote unquote shot at, and his auntie ended up getting fatally struck in Detroit. Now, his auntie was also his manager, right? So let's dive in on that. Now, T Grizzly equals 139 in the English language in reverse. Well, what you're looking at is the practice of Gematria, turning letters into numbers. Everything that you see in mainstream media is coded. They run on a strict code, and that's how they communicate with each other and let each other know what exactly is going on behind closed doors. Right? They do this not only with rap, they do this with the music industry, politicians. They do this with the mass shootings that you see. Sports, it's all coded by the same numerical pattern. So T Grizzly equals 139, which happens to be the 34th prime number. Now, uh, murder equals 34. Murder by numbers. Now, speaking of murder, his birth sign happens to be an Aries, which is also linked to murder, which we know, Aries, the Greek god of war, war, murder. So even, they take these people's astrology signs as well. So even if you think it's bullshit and, whatever you feel about it, the powers that shouldn't be are taking astrology into account. So Aries and murder. And to prove my point that they use it, the fact that T Grizzly was a Aries and his aunt ended up getting killed, shot to death when T Grizzly was 25 years old, when death, Aries, and aunt all equal 25. And they even equal the reflection of 25 with 52. So that goes to show you that they take astrology into account as well with these rituals. Now, since we talking about death, T Grizzly's auntie got shot to death 21 weeks and 3 days after T Grizzly's birthday on March 23rd, when we all know that death equals 213 is satanic. Once we on death again, since we're already on the topic of death, uh, the news, like I said, the news is always coded. So when you look at these news articles, they tell you specific things for specific reasons, and they say it a specific way. Now, Detroit police told the Detroit News that a fatal shooting occurred at 9 p.m. in the 3600 block of 3 Mile Drive. So if we take it exactly how they told us, and that's how you do this every single time, you take it exactly how they tell you, you don't have to change anything. 3600 block of 3 Mile Drive equals 118 in reduction, as does death. Once again. So the location was synchronized with her death. Also with the number 118, right? Homicide equals 118. Brown's death was ruled a homicide by Wayne County Medical Examiner. So we get 118 with homicide as well. And, you know, she also worked with Sada Baby, by the way. She also worked with Sada Baby. Yeah. Yup. Yup. My auntie showed me that. When she seen it, she cut on the news. She said, "Come here, look." And they was unveiling not even the pentagram. Yeah, the Baphomet. They was revealing the Baphomet statue. It's a Baphomet statue in the city of Detroit. Hold on, let me minus his comment so everybody can see it. What can I say about the hometown? Detroit has a pentagram street layout at Campus Martius, one of the largest Masonic temples in the world, and a Baphomet statue. I remember when they unveiled it. I'm like, damn, so this the energy that they releasing over the city. This is why it's so demonic. They done put a spell over the city. And that's why it's so much killing. And so much negative energy. It was all in the Baphomet. And it was going on. It was going on before they even put the Baphomet there. It's been going on. But homicide, right? Homicide equals 118. And homicide also equals 150. Just like his auntie died in a homicide 150 days after his birthday. Remember, it's all, you know, since Baphomet, like satanic, the Satanic Bible, clearly states that all of these rituals will be surrounded around one's own day of birth. So you always take these people's birthdays. Celebrating a birthday started off as a pagan ritual. It didn't start off as something that was supposed to be done. It was looked at as celebrating yourself as God. Who needs God when you can celebrate yourself? That's where it came from. But anyway, also, T Grizzly's auntie died 4 months, exactly 4 months and 4 weeks after his birthday, once again. Just like how she got killed in a shooting in Detroit. And we get 44 once again. It's the same thing every time. Even once again, the Detroit News, I just took a screenshot of the whole thing, and they put it to you, and they put this address. You know, peep the fact that they, you know, 3 Mile Drive, right? But even if we take 3 Mile Drive, we get the 44 again. So even the location that the Detroit News pointed your attention to was by the numbers as well. with the number 44. Just like how she died 4 months and 4 weeks after his birthday. Now, once again, 3,003 mile drive, the location that they decided to show you, and shooting both equal 107. Now, 107 is the 28th prime number. Just like how she was killed on the east side, which kill and east side both equal 28. If this don't look familiar to somebody else we just talked about, then you're going to be shocked after you see this. Now, once again, you take these things exactly how they tell you. They say Detroit rapper T Grizzly is mourning the loss of his aunt, Jobina J.B. Brown, after shots were fired at the car in which they were riding Tuesday. So if we take kill, once again, we take kill, manager, and her name, Jobina J.B. Brown. We get 59. We get 59 in English Ordinal, and we get 590 in Satanic. Now, you know numerology rules. The zeros are null. So we get 59 across the board. T Grizzly, whose real name is Terry Sanchez Wallace Jr. Now, Terry Sanchez Wallace Jr. equals 320. And once again, manager, we taking the same phrases. Manager equals 32 in reduction, reducing the double digits to single digits. And once again, we get the same synchronicity with his real name. Now, what's interesting about this, right, with the number 32? He dropped a song dedicated to her on the 32nd day of her death. On the 32nd day of her death. Now remember, I'm about to bring you the parallels to prove that this was a ritual. Because Peasy did the same exact thing. He dedicated his song Letter to Soda, to baking soda, on the 32nd day of his death. Let's look at the synchronicities between the two deaths. Two Detroit artists. Peasy's best friend, Baking Soda Snoop, died on the east side on August 20th, 2018. Exactly a year later, on the same day, T Grizzly's aunt, Jobina Brown, died on the east side on August 20th, 2019. The same day, a year apart. Now, guess what? Peasy released his song that was dedicated to Baking Soda Snoop, Letter to Soda, on September 20th, 2018. And T Grizzly followed suit and released his song for his loss on September 20th, the same day, the next year. And you telling me that these aren't rituals? What the fuck is the odds of that? Make this make sense. One person. I want one person. I'm going to sit here and wait. I want one person to make this make sense. And it's not a ritual. Come on, man. This shit is ridiculous. They taking out their own people and they died the exact same way. On the same day. They even released songs to finish off the ritual. And look at this. The song that T Grizzly dropped for his auntie, where he got the bear sitting over the other bear. Right? This is auntie, this T Grizzly bear, this auntie bear right here. But check this out. The song is called Sadish. Sadish equals 41. That was the age of his auntie at the time of her death. She was 41 years old. It even happened on 41 date numerology. The month plus the day, then you break down the year. Once again, another date numerology. When you break down the month plus the date plus 20 plus 19 equals 68. Just like T Grizzly equals 68. And you telling me these not rituals? Now, the day T Grizzly was born to the day his auntie slash manager passed away was a span of 304 months. Just like manager and the fact that she got killed on the east side, both equal 304. Now, once again, here's Fox 2 News giving you the other code. Hip hop manager Jobina Brown was shot and killed on the east side. When shot and killed in the east side have the same synchronicities. This is the code that they always give you. And they gave the same code about baking soda Snoop. Once again, shot and killed. If we take shot and kill, right, which equals 361 in Latin slash Jewish. 361 is the 19th square root. Now they say she was in an SUV with her nephew, when nephew and SUV both equal 19. You even get the reflection with 91. Now here's the real kicker right here. Now they say the auntie slash manager passed away 216 days before T Grizzly's upcoming birthday. Just like Jobina JB Brown equals 216 in the English language in reverse. Did the nephew get shot? No, she was the only one that got shot. She was the only one that got shot. Hip hop manager Jobina Brown was shot and killed. Once again, we taking shot and kill. We taking these same phrases over and over. Shot and kill equals 73. Sacrifice equals 73. Yeah, the nephew is T Grizzly, in case anybody didn't know. But with 73, she passed away 7 months and 3 days before T Grizzly's birthday. That's all we doing is running these people's birthdays. That's all. That's all you do here. It's gonna tell it all. It's gonna tell it all. T Grizzly birthday is even on the 83rd day of the year. Just like murder. Murder equals 83. Detroit, Michigan, the location where it happened, 83. And he happens to be an Aries. Aries equals 83. Murder by numbers. Murder by numbers. T Grizzly a big ninja to not get hit. That's what I'm saying. They shoot up the SUV. She the only one that get hit. That sounds like a target to me. But come on. Once again, everything is surrounded around the birthdays. 3/23, right? March 23rd was T Grizzly's birthday. 3/23. Now, Brown was shot on her left side, sitting in the back of the Chrysler. The driver fled to the area of Buckingham and Mac, where he met up police. No other injuries were reported to the police. So instead of going straight to the hospital, they met up with the police first. I don't know why, but okay. When she's sitting here bleeding out, but Buckingham and Mac, right, equals 323, just like T Grizzly's birthday, and that happened to be the location. That happened to be the location that they went to. Even murder and Buckingham and Mac had the same synchronicities, 399. And it's crazy because that's the nickname for Mac Avenue on the east side. It's called Murder Mac. That's the nickname of that street. Everybody know that. Murder Mac right there by that McDonald's right there. Everybody know that's Murder Mac right there. And that's the location that they took her to. It was all coded. What the fuck you even talking about with numbers? Something that you not understanding because you too busy talking when I sat here and explained it in the beginning. So what you gonna have to do if you actually want to understand, if you're asking questions to understand, what you're gonna have to do now at this point, since I already started, you're gonna have to run this back when I'm finished. And then maybe, just maybe, you might understand if you open your ears and open your eyes. But come on. Once again, the Detroit News. They took this screenshot of this address right here. 3,003 Mile Drive. And the date numerology on the day that she got killed was 67 and 40, which happened to be the location, right, that they decide to show you, which equals 67 and 40, when blood sacrifice equals 67. Murder by numbers.